Let me ask you: can you think of an example of the I guess the hardest you've had to stay on a kid that a lot of people may have given up on? Can you think of one wrestler in particular that you really went above and beyond to try to get him to stay focused and keep him on the mat?
Yeah, we have examples. We have a heck of an example just from this year at NCAs. We had a kid named Wyatt who was our starting 157 pounder for us this year. His dad was a two-time national champ for us. Was actually a Olympic alternate. Actually beat Mark Schultz in the first match. Just some background history.
Oh wow! Wow.
But his freshman year, he came here, and he comes from a real small town in Oklahoma, and real family kid, and just would constantly want to go back home. Wasn't doing always the best things. Just to the point where I'm like, man, I don't think this guy's gonna do it. And that was actually the lesson I learned from John of stay on him, help him, stay on him, don't give up on him. And he left school as a freshman, and came back and started to get kind of caught on board. And it wasn't until last year that all of a sudden he started the year out as a starter, and no one expected anything of him. To at the end of the year was in the Big 12 finals, and everyone's going, "Who is this Wyatt Sheets now?" Like, wow. Well, anyways, fast forward to this year with COVID. We didn't have the proper preseason, so maybe he wasn't fully in shape. Well, we were drilling one day, and I want to say this was in about November, and literally called him out to show a move, and when he was showing a move, tore his ACL, right in there.
Oh,
and now you're going like, man, this guy's finally, he's got on track, he's doing the right things, he's doing all this, and now this happens. Well, it was torn, but it was torn enough that he still had a little, stability in it with the brace. So he kept the brace on, and he wrestled, and he only wrestled maybe about 5-6 matches leading into the Big 12 championship. And he went into the Big 12 championship, and I think he went like 1-2 at the Big 12 championship. And the way the NCAAs work is they'll take a lot of your stuff from the past of what you did. They look at who you wrestled. They look at it's called RPI, like what your percentage of wins are, what your record is, how you finish at your conference tournament. And he actually didn't even qualify for nationals, and he just missed it. And then they have these wild cards. So what it means is, like, after all the conferences are done, they have so many wild cards for that weight class, and he didn't even get a wild card. And this is about 5 days before we're leaving for the NCAA championship. He's got his scheduled surgery on his knee. We get a call on the way that, hey, the 33 seed, the last seed of the NCAA tournament, something happened to him. I don't know if it was COVID or he got hurt, but Wyatt was the next guy. So Wyatt's in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, wow.
So he's a 33 seed. So Wyatt gets going. Hey, we're like, hey, you're in. We're like, hey, man, nothing to lose now. He goes in. They actually do an interview with him before. He's like, I definitely think that I'm better than 33. So he goes in. He wins his first match, which is a pigtail round to get in. He loses to the number 1 seed. He wrestles all the way back, and he becomes an All-American.
Unbelievable.
So this is a guy that went from probably not making it as a freshman to not supposed to do anything with a torn ACL and not expect to do anything as a 33 seed, to being an All-American. I mean, if there's not a story of grinding things out and just enduring and going. So, yeah, so for an example of giving up on a kid or wanting to a success story, that's definitely one of them.